What's up, you guys? I'm going to show you guys how to make the most popular riser sound ever, or at least I believe it's the most popular one ever. You hear it with every big artist, and a lot of producers are using this kind of riser. So let me show you what I mean. If you didn't already notice it, it's this one right here. I could show you a bunch of examples and big tracks that use this sound, but I'm pretty sure if you just listen to music in the EDM genre for a day, you'll hear this sound a lot, especially in the much more popular, bigger DJs. So this is a riser, but to me, I kind of think everyone uses it as more of a filler, just to fill in some space in the drops and make everything just kind of, I don't know, sort of just a cool texture riser. So I just have like a kind of this fast little part right here, and this riser here just makes it all gel way more together. Or I can't really speak words right now because I'm retarded and it's Thanksgiving, but or it's almost Thanksgiving tomorrow, so I'm just thinking about turkey. So I'm gonna take this out and just let you hear this part by itself, without this thing. So it's okay, but it just was missing something. Something just needed to be filled in, and I figured these kind of things are lifesavers for that. So now I'm going to bring it back in, and you're just going to hear that life come into this part. And it's great because it's rising, and it's like it's going to allow me to continue building that tension of this part. So, okay, now that I've talked way too much about this kind of sound, let me just show you how to make it. So, all you gotta do in Silent is just go to Menu and Initialize. And if you don't have Silent, you can still make this in mostly every other synthesizer. So, but for those of you that have it, you'll be able to follow along. So, after you've initialized your preset, you're just going to want to go over here and bring your voices up to 16, and or however you could do that in your whatever synthesizer you're using, but it's pretty easy here. And for Oscillator 1, we're just going to put on a typical pulse wave, or it's a square wave in any other synthesizer, and we're going to invert it. We're going to bring it up an octave, detune it to 1.95, and make sure you have 8 voices on this as well. And next, we're going to move on to the amp envelope. So we're just going to bring our attack to 0.57, or you could have it somewhere in that range. Maybe not all the way down because you don't want it to sound too plucky. And just bring your decay and sustain up all the way, and your release to 5.85. And this is also a little trick that you can use your release with. If in other synthesizers that I like to use, they don't have reverbs like how Silent does, or how Massive has a reverb inside of that synthesizer. So when there's no reverb inside of a synthesizer, I usually just put a really long release on that sound, and that can sound like a reverb if done right. So release can mimic, or at least give the emulation of what a reverb does, which is give more space and whatever. And so now for Oscillator 2, we're just going to bring this up an octave. We're going to leave this not inverted, so I don't know if I said it, but invert this wave and take off the re-triggers. And this is just going to be a typical sine wave, 8 voices, no phase. We're going to detune it to 3.86, and that's it for our oscillators. There's no part B to this. It's a very simple sound. So the combination of a pulse wave and a sine wave gives us this like hollowy just sound that when you start to modulate the pitch like we will down here, it will sound really cool. But first, let's just do our filter A. And so we're just going to bring the cutoff all the way up. We're just going to add a little bit of a low pass, 12 dB. That's it. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. I just like to do this so that I can control it with the filter control if I want to. And I'm just going to bring that cutoff up all the way, reso all the way down, key track, 4.33 and warp drive is on. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. You don't need to. You can just have all this stuff blank, and that's gonna still work. And then you're gonna just want to turn on mono legato, which is pretty much just gonna only play this note. And then I set this to 5.81, and again, that's optional. Everything mostly filtering, and this is optional. You just have to get the oscillators and the mod envelope part down. So I just brought all these up all the way, and I selected pitch A and B in the screen box so that I could detune or modulate this envelope's pitch. So I brought this up to 1.05, and why I did that, unlike other riser sounds where you would bring it up a whole octave or 2 octaves or whatever, to make it sound like this really like detuned sound as a little bit less than a riser, which is kind of what this is. It is a riser because it is detuning, but well, I just said it right there, so I'm not gonna keep explaining. And so just make sure you have this, and then I just added a bit of delay. Again, this is optional. I just put my left side to 1/8 over D, and then the right on 1/8. I could low cut it because that's something I like to do. So I'll low cut it at around 200 hertz. High cut it maybe around, let's say 8 or 7. I'll just cut it around 12K. And then feedback I brought up to 62%. Dry wet 63%. So there's a lot of that. Reverb, that's at 57%. Pre-delay is where it is by default, 100 milliseconds. Size also at 7.50. That's just where it is by default. And I dampened it a bit to 8.76. So that's pretty much all I did here in Silence. Very easy, very fast to make. I could have just made this from scratch if I wanted to, but I didn't want to leave anything out if I forgot. So that's pretty much it. And you don't have to really do anything like with other risers where you have to automate any lanes inside of Silent or anything like that. What's really cool to do with this sound additionally, outside of Silent, is just to sidechain it to your kicks so that it pumps a little bit with the whole groove of what's going on in the track, and add some width to it. So I used this is called Utility in Ableton, but it's just a stereo imager. So I just you could just pan it out really wide and then just compensate for the volume. So as you can see with Utility, I just brought the width up to 169% and then just added 5 dB of gain so that I could compensate for the loss of volume that happens when you pan shit out. So that's pretty much all I did, and it just sounds like this. So if I just take off these two, it just sounds the same, but this will help it fit in the overall mix. And that's really it. I won't be doing a video tomorrow on Thanksgiving or anything like that. Maybe even for a few days after that, because at least here in America, it's everyone takes a few days off work and all that stuff. So I know for the rest of the world, no one cares about American holidays, but I will be occupied doing those things and just chilling with the fam probably. So I'll catch you guys later, probably Monday. So thanks for watching, you guys. Lates.